He does impressions on demand.
On demand.
You merely adopted the darkness. I was born in it. I didn't see the light until I was a grown man.
By using
By
a
then,
prop.
It was blinding.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the No Easy Way Out podcast, episode number 45. Zach, how do you feel about that?
Number
brother?
45, guys, we made it.
45,
That's
going strong, man.
Yeah, I mean, they say that most podcasts don't last longer than 3 episodes.
We
And we're
proved them
45
wrong.
deep, so
That's because we don't take the easy way out.
we're champions here, guys.
We don't take the easy way out. Now, we have taken a little bit of a hiatus lately because we've been all over the state of Michigan, bro. We've been in the production game. We've been producing podcasts for other people.
We're producers now, you guys.
So we've had some people watch the podcast, been inspired by what we're doing. They wanted some clout of their own. And so they called us, of course. I mean, it's the right move. And so they asked us to help them produce a podcast. So we've actually helping produce 3 different podcasts right now. So we've been pretty busy with that. It's been a lot of fun, but we are excited to be back in the chair today.
Yes, sir.
But what have we been up to lately, Zach?
You know, Tony, we've both been gaining a lot of weight.
sure
COVID-19 shutdown has caused us to gain the COVID-19.
COVID-19, yeah.
And an extra COVID-19, I believe.
Yeah, we're doing our part. We're doing our part.
We're doing our part. We're saving the
COVID-19
world.
Was the minimum.
We're staying at home and eating junk food.
Yeah, no gym, sitting at a desk. If we had excuses before, we have way more now, and we're taking advantage of those. And then recently, I bought a Camaro, a midlife crisis.
Midlife already?
I spent 2 years trying to convince my wife that it was a necessary thing for me. She thought it was a midlife crisis. I finally convinced her that it wasn't, and now I got one.
That's
And
a nice car. I like
it. I love it. Yeah, it's
good.
I feel young again.
It's good for you. Yeah.
Despite the COVID-19, I feel young again. But, you know, we're just living in a corona world, trying to get things done, trying to take care of our clients. The business is going here well at AZ Business Solutions. But we thought it was time to resurrect the podcast today for a very special reason. And that is because of a very special guest.
Sir.
We have the one, the only, Mr. Adam Malachuk. Is that Adam Malachuk?
Chook.
Yes, sir.
Malachuk.
Literally the one and the only. I'm the only Adam Malachuk in existence. There's not another Adam Malachuk. If you Google Adam Malachuk, I'm the only person that
Is
will
it
pop
Chuck
up.
or Chook?
Is that a true story?
It is. So my family, the last name Malachuk,
Yeah.
anybody in the country that is named Malachuk is directly related to me.
Really?
Whether it's a cousin, second cousin.
What is Malachuk? What is that like?
It's
it's Russian, baby.
Russian.
It's Russian,
So
yeah.
I can see that.
my dad's family is from Belarus.
Oh, Belarus.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the show, bro.
Yeah, it's exciting stuff.
Welcome to the show. It's exciting to have you.
It's good to be here.
Yeah.
There's no easy way out.
Indeed.
Look deep into the camera, my man. I love it. All right, now Adam is a friend of Zach's. That's how we know each other. This is
That's
That's
you're
a-
using the word friend too loosely.
He's a guest at my house right now.
I'm a guest at his
he's
house.
an acquaintance of Zach, and I actually met you through Zach. This is my first
Yeah.
time meeting you in
In person, yeah.
And so this is exciting. This
Yeah,
is like
this
an
is exciting
exciting way to meet. We're going to learn a lot of each other. Now, how did you and Zach meet? Let's talk about that first.
Here we go.
Okay, so it was actually at college, and
What
this
college?
is a funny story. Pensacola Christian College. We both proudly dropped out of
Home of the Eagles.
home of the
3
the
college
Eagles.
dropouts sitting around the table right now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we've made it. But
Look,
so
Mom.
my sister had made a couple friends, and she was a sophomore. No, she was a junior my freshman year. So she invited me to a soccer game and was like, "Hey, come to the soccer game. I got some people that you want to meet." So I
You
show
tell him
up.
the glasses story? Is that
Yeah. And Zach is sitting there. I kid you not, wearing women's sunglasses.
Yep.
And
He's wearing
like,
a woman's shirt today.
It's true.
He said, "That's a nice shirt. Does it come in men's?"
No, it doesn't. That's
So
why I'm
he's
wearing
sitting there with women's sunglasses on, and I think you were wearing a pink shirt too.
it. Possibly.
Yeah. Or a mint shirt. I don't know.
Mint.
But probably mint.
Yeah, that's my color,
But-
mint.
Is it scary how much he remembers the detail about this?
No, because I remember it too.
Okay, here's the thing. I have like I don't forget anything.
Same.
Like
Yeah.
ask Zach, I'll bring up stories that.
If
he
it was
doesn't
5
even
minutes ago, I forgot it. But if it was like 3 years ago, I got it.
I was going to
Okay.
say, I could say Zach forgets things.
Yeah.
have. So anyway, so
Short term.
so he's sitting there, and I'm like, who the heck is this?
Who's this
clown?
judge?
And he keeps saying, "You were performance studies, weren't you?"
Yep.
He kept saying, "I'm
He
a
wanted to be-
thespian.
yeah, he
I'm a
wanted-
thespian." And I was like, "You're an idiot."
You're an idiot.
And I didn't like him at all. Like at all. I was like, this kid's an idiot.
I didn't like you
Not
either,
the
yeah.
kind of person that I want to hang out with.
Yeah.
Wow.
Long story short, I was kind of forced to hang out with him a few more times.
I was forced.
because my sister hung out
Who
with him.
forced you to hang out with them?
Well, no, but it was just kind of like forced socially. Like
I got you.
if I would go,
So you
hang
fall
out with
to
my
peer
sister,
pressure
he was
easily.
There.
So your sister gives you a lot of peer pressure.
It's
and you
not
can't
that.
say
It's
no
so
to your
much
sister.
that me and my sister are just really close.
Oh, I
so,
see. So she forced you to hang out with Zach.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
But then him and I just kind of clicked.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and we got super close. And then after he
And
dropped
then
out,
you became a thespian.
And then you became a thespian.
I've always been a thespian. No, he dropped out. You know, we kind of lost a little bit of touch, but every once in a while we talk. And then recently, actually, as of probably last fall, we just got we started talking again.
Yeah.
Reunited,
and so I was like, I gotta come
and
out.
It feels so
So
good.
good. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's how we met.
Well, I dropped out after one semester. Zach dropped out after 1
2
year.
semesters. Yeah.
And you
How long
made it
did you
3
make it?
semesters?
I made it
believe?
4 semesters.
4. Okay, so wow.
You're the champion.
You wasted a whole bunch of money.
I definitely took the easy
But
way
actually,
out.
the funny thing is, I left debt free. In fact, I left so debt free that the college sent me a check
Same for me, yeah.
because I had to roll over. I had
Yeah.
money from rollover, and they sent me a check for $300.
Yeah,
So
we killed it, man.
After
We
my
cleaned up.
1 semester, the college sent me a bill and a report card that my father was extremely happy about. So it wasn't a great experience for me. So, well, let me just tell you how I met Adam. First thing is you followed me on Instagram, I believe, or followed our business on Instagram.
AZ Business Solutions,
Slid into the DMs.
Growing your brand from A to Z.
A to Z.
Yeah.
Listen, if you need a website built, if you need any graphic design work, talk to these guys. They obviously know what they're doing.
This is going to be a long podcast. We all get on a rabbit trail so easily.
We're chalking it up.
That's all right. So I actually got invited to be a guest on their podcast called Goodnight Owasso, which I believe did have 3 episodes.
No, we
And then
had
it failed.
7 episodes.
7 episodes.
And
yeah.
Zach got lazy and didn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah. Well, listen, when you're on a podcast like the No Easy Way Out podcast, everything else kind of seems like small potatoes. So,
It makes sense.
you know, so I could
Everything
see why.
else was work, yeah.
I could see why. Yeah, he got that. So,
100%.
so let's talk now. One of the things we talked about in your podcast that I'm very curious about because we haven't really spoken much since then.
Right.
Oh, yes.
Now we hit it off quickly.
Oh,
Unlike
very
you and Zach, you and I liked each other right from the beginning, right?
This guy's my man right here.
But I want to know. You told me about. You asked me for some advice.
Oh, yes. I
Here we
know
go.
this
Here we
story.
go.
Yes, and I need to know how this story panned out.
Podcast is
because-
warming
Okay,
up now.
so
Oh, hold on. Let me give the audience a
Yeah.
little what happened here. So,
Little
you know,
context.
he said, Tony, can I ask for your advice? And I'm thinking this is going to be like professional advice, business advice. And so he asked me, he said that a friend of his had a girl that he liked,
his ex.
his ex. Oh, it was an ex, yeah. But he also now liked her, and he slid into her DMs.
No, I didn't like her as much as I found her attractive.
Okay.
So what happened was I did slide in her DMs, but it was more like a friendly conversation. She had added me on Instagram, and I thought she was kind of cute. But basically, I kind of was like, do I go for her? It's my best friend's ex.
Right. Which we
And-
talked about bro code on the show. I
Right,
want to know,
and-
did
and-
you break bro code?
I did not. At the end of the day, he
Good
means
man.
more to me than she did. So
Good
I didn't
man.
really, I
Good
didn't even
man.
really know her. So yeah,
Studio audience.
So you didn't
applause.
bite, huh?
Listen,
Yeah,
you did
so-
the right thing, my man.
Good for you.
yeah, I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
I kind of gave a little bit of advice, hoping that this guy's going to do the right thing.
And I
it
did.
sounds like you
You
did.
did.
And we're proud
And
of you.
At the end of the day, it's just kind of like, what are you gonna do?
There's a lot more fish who look exactly like
There
that fish.
are plenty. Listen, I've said this to my sisters multiple times. If they're down and out because they don't have a boyfriend, you say, listen,
Have you guys listened to this?
there
Lydia.
there are plenty of fish in the sea, but sometimes you got to change up your bait.
Hey,
Exactly.
You got to do whatever you
gotta
got to
work
do.
on you,
man.
girl.
You got to do what you got to do. There's one out there for you. You'll find her. She'll find you. You just got to be patient. But you don't want to step on one of your bros' exes. I mean, that's just not.
It's just
at least in my day, that's
actually,
not how we did
that
it.
happened to you. In fact, your bro took your ex and is getting married this weekend.
Jesse Porter.
Sir, what a dog! No bro code
Porter.
there.
As Jesse,
No, I gave him a pass a long time ago.
Yeah. Jesse has a grandma grocery getter that he souped up. So, I mean, it's no surprise that he took Zach's girl, too.
Straight piped it. All the
Yeah.
cherry bombed it.
Cherry
He did it all.
Well,
Yep.
Jesse, we're hoping you don't underperform like your car this weekend with your new bride. So.
That's not getting cut out of the podcast either. The editor's
Excuse me.
keeping that one in there.
Yes, sir.
All right, Adam. So I understand it's been a lifelong dream of yours to be on the No Easy Way Out podcast. Even though we've been around for a year, you've been hoping to do this for your whole life.
I've
7.5
always
years
wanted
old.
to do podcasting.
Yeah.
Like even before it really took off. Whether it was sports podcasting, whether
Did you
it
invent
was-
podcasting?
No.
Oh, okay.
I wish I did.
yeah.
I'd be rich right now. But I've always wanted to do some sort of podcasting.
Yeah.
Well, how's it feel to be on the podcast, man?
How does it feel?
It's honestly a dream come true.
Yeah,
There we
that's
go.
great,
Good
man.
time.
We're glad.
Just
Is there anyone that you'd
chalking
like?
up with
chalking
boys.
it
Is there anyone you'd like to thank that you've
Well, in the
you know,
words
along
of Conor
helped get you
McGregor-
here along the way?
In the words of Conor McGregor, I'd like to take this time to thank absolutely nobody.
Absolutely.
No, I do want to thank a couple people. Obviously
wow.
God, because
Of course.
nothing without Him. My parents for just giving me a good work ethic and just pushing me to do best and not being mad when I dropped out and just supporting me for that.
Yeah, and then truly giving you like a name that no one else ever has. And that's a
Malachuk.
pretty good gift from a parent.
Malachuk.
Yeah, it's
It's
Adam
Malachuk.
Malachuk. It's one of a kind,
it's
really.
One of a kind.
It's true.
Adam
I'm going to
Gabriel
Google that
Malachuk.
afterwards.
Go ahead. Google it right now. But
I will.
So yeah, and I also want to thank my brother because he kind of got me into the job I'm in now, and I was able to. I started at the base level, and I was able to work my way up through the company in the past year. So
There you go.
There's an Instagram. There's a SoundCloud.
Go DuckDuckGo.
yeah, SoundCloud is my
There's a Twitter.
song.
There's a Facebook. Listen, you can find this man on every social media platform. He's out there, and he's got the voice of an angel. That's why his middle name's Gabriel.
He's
I-
branded.
I
You
do-
gotta
I do a
check
lot
him
of
out on
singing.
Is your middle
SoundCloud.
name Gabriel?
Yeah.
I've never known that.
I'm named after the first
You just
man
said
in the
that.
Bible, and my middle name is after the first angel mentioned in the Bible.
That's why you're a demon.
All right, so we're going to do something that we do most of the time on the podcast. That
Okay.
we haven't done in the last few episodes, but I figured for you, we'd pull it out.
Special treatment.
We call it this or that. So I'm going to give you 10 rapid fire questions, and we're going to let our audience get to know you just a little bit. All right, see what Adam Malachuk is all about. You ready for this?
I've never been more ready in my life.
Well, we got to put 60 seconds on
I'll
the
put
clock.
I'll put a minute
Oh,
on the clock
60
for
seconds.
you.
Normally we give out a prize if you get all these.
But
in
today
60
there's no
seconds. But
prize,
today
so-
the
Oh,
prize.
60 seconds? What's the prize?
The prize is being on the show. We'll air.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing I could
If you don't get him right, then you got to leave right now.
Well, no. If you do this, we'll air the episode. But if you
There-
fail, we're not going to air this.
Oh, it's
okay?
just gonna be private?
A lot of pressure.
You guys need this podcast to go out.
60 seconds.
Your
You
time
ready?
starts now.
Yeah.
All right. Apple or Android?
Android. I'm Apple. Apple.
Wow. Jeez.
He's almost a sociopath.
Mac or PC?
Mac.
Night owl or early bird?
I'm a mix of both.
I don't know if I like
Mostly
that
night
answer.
owl.
Okay. Facebook or Instagram?
Instagram.
Snapchat or TikTok?
Snapchat.
Seinfeld or The Office?
The Office.
Wrong. Netflix or
Wrong.
Hulu?
Netflix.
Phone call or a text?
Phone call. I like to talk to people.
Money or time?
Money.
All right, last question. How much time has he got? You got 30
He's
seconds.
got
to
30
answer
seconds left to answer this
This is a
question.
tough one.
So elaborate, brother.
Zach or Tony, and why?
Tony Nash, because I was invited on the No Easy Way Out podcast.
I made it happen, though.
No, Tony Nash made it happen.
Zach is your connection in.
I'm the connection to Tony.
Zach's like
Zach
Zach's
is-
like the pipe in, but like
And you did it, by the way. So
He
we're gonna
used me
air
to get
some-
on this podcast. All right.
Well, okay, so I want to talk about a couple things here while we got you on
Yeah,
the
let's
show.
do it.
All right, so obviously we joke a lot about it. I
Yeah.
dropped out of college after one semester. Now I did attend like a local like pastors training institute because I wanted to be a youth pastor.
Right.
But like the degree that I got from there, which I believe was an associate's, like they wouldn't even like accept it at Walmart. So it's it was basically just training for the ministry I was going into. So it's not really like a full on college degree. So I dropped out one semester. Zach dropped out after 2. You dropped out after
I made
4.
it for 4.
So my major was youth ministry. What was your major?
I started with thespianism, and then I went to...
Thespianism is not a word.
And then I believe I went to
just made it a
marketing, and then I went to... What was the legal office thing I did, remember, for...
You did do that.
3 major changes in 2 semesters.
Oh, yeah.
That's impressive. That deserves something.
That's
on
how I
my-
knew it wasn't for me.
That's
I
how
just-
you know he's his own man.
Right.
Okay, so I switched my major twice or once,
let's hear
technically twice. So I
Your
started
first
as
one
criminal
was
justice.
criminal justice.
I
yeah.
really, and I still do. I wanted to be a game warden in the state of Vermont.
That's right,
You
yeah.
wanted to be a gay what?
A game
Oh.
warden
Oh.
in the state of Vermont. But here's the issue with that. In the state of Vermont, it is one of the hardest places to become a game warden. You have to go through all these years of training, and you have to be essentially on a wait list, wait for someone to either die or quit. And I didn't really want to be a game warden anywhere else.
Like a judge or
And
something.
I didn't want to be a cop or anything like that. Obviously, I support the cops, back the blue, but I didn't want to do that. So I enjoyed criminal justice. I learned a lot from it, but at the end of the day, I was like, I don't want to do this with my life. So I actually switched my major online to elementary education because I love
right,
teaching.
you did. I remember that,
I
yeah.
love teaching kids. It's something I'm just naturally good at. I teach kids how to ski in the winter. I do a lot of children's ministries in my church. So I switched to that. On my way, actually, this is interesting. So on my way, driving down to Florida to go to school. This is in August. I was at my sister's house. We
In the
stopped there.
Volkswagen?
No, it was the Volvo.
The Volvo, that's
It was a
what it was.
1999
Yeah,
Volvo V70, forest green. Her name was Vicky.
That's a
Beautiful.
boxy car.
Her name was Vicky, and
Yeah.
it was my favorite car ever.
Still
And
better
she was
than
stunning.
still better than an Impala.
Oh, 100%. Because the Volvo's got that rugged, like, outdoorsy.
But it wasn't better than Illuminati.
The 1998.
My Chevy Illuminati had some memories, man.
Okay, yeah. So anyway, we stopped along the way at my sister's house in North Carolina because it's about the halfway point from my house to Pensacola, and we stopped there. And she asked me like what I'm majoring in now. So I told her, and she said something to me about how one of her friends did like a graphic design minor with like, what's the major? Advertising.
Yeah,
So
advertising.
advertising and public relations. I said that really sounds interesting. So I look up the qualifications and like the different things you have to do on it. And I remember reading, I was like, wow, I would really enjoy this. So that night, I switched my major again before I got down to school
So
to
that was
advertising public relations.
That
with
was
a minor
3
in
times
graphic.
also.
Yeah.
So it's 3 times, technically.
Yeah.
But technically,
Great.
I never did any of the classes for
Sure.
elementary.
But Zach still holds the record. 3 times in 2
3 times 2
semesters.
semesters is pretty
That's
good, yeah.
just- How did you even logically do that?
I just kept going to my guy and saying, hey, switch it for me. Switch
Put
my
you in a
major.
class halfway through a semester?
He's always got a guy.
No, so I switched to advertising, and I honestly loved advertising, learning graphic design, things like that. But I was sitting in a business class. It was actually fall semester. So I was thinking about dropping out right after fall semester. So I was only going to do 3 semesters. So I'm sitting in a business class, and I'm just hearing this guy talk about this, that, and the other way, and I'm just like, what in the heck am I sitting here listening to this clown talk for? I already know everything he's saying, and I could go learn this by working and making money. What am I doing wasting my time paying to go to this class when I could just learn this in the real world?
Right.
So I seriously contemplated dropping out over winter break, and I said, you know what, I'm going to stick it out 1 more semester so I at least have 2 years of college under my belt. So it gets to the end of spring semester, and at this point I was just like, I can't do this anymore. So after a lot of thought, prayer, planning, a lot of prayer, I dropped out, and I immediately got to work. My first job after I dropped out was I was working for my brother, flipping houses with him. So he was paying me under the table, $15 an hour, and I was doing a lot of painting, a lot of caulking, stuff like that, just kind of tidying places up. And a month or 2 into that, he said, hey, there's a job opening up at my company. You could go be a marketer there. I was like, you know what? It's a good company to work for. It's a good place to build my career. We'll go for it. So I started as a marketer. I was going door to door, knocking on people's doors.
You were a salesman?
No, I was a marketer. So here's what would happen. So say I'll just do a little mock one for you. So I'm at your door.
Hi, come in. Actually, don't come in. Stay on the porch.
We don't go in. So
Who is it?
hi, my name's Adam. I'm with Yankee Home Improvement.
Clearly, Zach's never answered the
Yeah.
door. Who's there?
I'm not home. Go away.
out of my house.
That's what I always say.
We had people that would say stuff like that
Yeah.
all the time. So I'd knock on the door, they'd answer, hi, my name's Adam, I'm with Yankee Home Improvement, just in the area. We're actually offering free quotes on any home improvement upcoming projects, roofing, siding, windows, doors. And I'd give them a whole little pitch to try to get a salesperson in there. So I was doing marketing. Tough job. A lot of walking and knocking on doors, lots of rejection. I would say that for every 100 doors I would knock on and get rejected, I would get 1 solid conversation out of that. So a very difficult job. So I decided, you know what? I don't really, I don't like this too much. I'm going to do a little bit of negotiating to get myself not have to do this every day. So what I did was I talked to, they were talking about doing cross-training, teaching people in the phone room. So, I was like, all right, hey, if you're doing cross-training, why don't you train me on the phones so I can work here in the phone room Wednesdays and Fridays? And they're like, all right, bet. So, I worked in the phone room Wednesdays and Fridays. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to canvas at all anymore. Hey, how about if I work in the phone room full time? They're like, okay. So I was, at this point, instead of knocking, doing the same thing on the phone. Hey, my name's Adam with Yankee.
Like a telemarketer?
Yeah, I was a telemarketer.
I would hate that.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And then eventually, they, now you're familiar with the EOS, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you guys use that here?
Entrepreneur operating system, absolutely.
Yeah. That our company
We
just
invented
started
it.
with that. So they were talking about hiring within.
Yeah.
And they were looking for someone to take control of recruiting. And they're like, well, Adam's, he's good at talking to people. He represents the core values of our company.
He failed at being a gay warden. That's a qualification.
Yeah. That's in the EOS booklet. I worked my way up. I got promoted, and now I'm the recruiting manager there.
That's awesome, man.
It's awesome.
That's awesome. Well, this is kind of what I want to hone in on because, like I said, we joke a little bit because we all dropped out of college, but we all are doing something that we enjoy very much. And the question gets brought up a lot lately. Do people really need to go to college in America today? And I want to dive into that. I have an opinion. I want to hear what you guys have to think because you guys are much younger than I am. Obviously, I have 40 years under my belt to realize, what my choice to drop out of college looked like, how it resulted in my life, and it's still a work in progress. Like my story is still being written. But, you grow up in society today, and they just tell you have to go to high school or, finish school, get a good, get good grades, get into a good college, get a good degree, spend countless thousands of dollars, come out with tons of debt in order to get a good job. And they say most people are living with their college debt well into their 40s because to find a job, for most professions, to find a job that would pay for the degree that they had to get is very difficult. Now, there are certainly certain professions that a degree is a necessity. It's a requirement. Like if you're going into law enforcement, if you're going into the medical field, certain types like this, you certainly have to go to college and get a degree. But the question is, does everybody need to go to college? And I want to hear what you guys have to say about that. We're going to start with Zach. What are your thoughts about does every person need to go to college?
I wouldn't say they need to, but I think it's a good thing. Like I think if you have no idea what you want to do, you'll at least, meet some people. You'll start taking some classes and see some things that you like and some things that you don't like. And if you have an idea what you want to do, then obviously there's some good majors, like if you want to be like an engineer or a doctor, things like that. So I think it's a decent, experience for everyone. But obviously there's some people who know, for a fact that they don't want to go to college at all, and that's fine. But I would definitely say that for the average person, it's a good thing to go for at least a semester or for a year to figure out who you are, to be away from your family and whatnot. A lot of people are afraid to drop out because they don't want to be labeled as a college dropout or a bum, And so, I would just say do the best that you can with what you think you want to do, and then you'll just keep finding stuff. You'll keep meeting people, and life has a way to work things out for you. I feel like
So let me see if I can summarize this for you.
Summarize it, man.
So your thoughts is college isn't necessary for everybody, but there's more to just the academics of it.
Was I not making sense when I was talking?
Well, I'm not saying that it wasn't making sense.
Oh, okay.
Jumping around a little bit.
Clearer.
Just trying to clarify some things. So you never really said whether they should or shouldn't. You kind of left it on it's up to them, which I agree. I'm just your opinion.
Of course.
But there's more. What I think one of the things you said that I found interesting is there's more to the college experience than just the academics of it.
Of course.
100%.
There's more to be gained just by the life experience. And so your recommendation was at least go try it out.
I would, yeah.
Now, here's the problem I see with that. Okay, you guys both went to a college that has a relatively affordable tuition, room and board, $10,000 to $11,000 a year. My daughter goes there right now. That is a drop in the bucket compared to most colleges. Most colleges that people go to are going to be $30,000, $40,000 a year. So that 1 year of experience can result in a lot of debt. And I'm not saying people shouldn't do it, but that's something to consider.
Yeah.
Okay,
Now,
Adam, what are your thoughts?
So like I had mentioned, I left college debt free.
Yeah.
Same,
in fact, the school owed us money because we had overpaid, and they were just going to roll it on to the next bill. But it honestly, these colleges that are costing $40,000 and $50,000 a year, actually, I have a friend I was talking to, and she's going to a private university, Lynn College Lynn University in Florida, and it's like $40,000 a year. And she's like, well, no, I figured it out because after I do all my schooling, I'm gonna have to pay $30,000 a year towards the bill. I was like, you're not even gonna make that much probably in your first year.
Yeah.
It's like, do you realize how much the average person makes after they drop out of college? You're gonna be making about $30,000 a year.
Yeah, and that's all. And that's not even your take home.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's not what you got to take all the taxes, stuff like that out. She got mad at me because I was putting things into perspective for her, but it's honestly just you really, and I can say this as a recruiter because I hire people. When I look at resumes, I have people that come in. They went to Harvard, they went to Yale, they went to Princeton, but I've hired the guy that went to Springfield Community College or Greenfield Community College over them because they're more
equipped for the
personal.
job. Yeah.
If you look at their experience, they have much more experience. All that, most recruiters, again, it depends on what position you're in. Like law, that schools matter for that. Like being a doctor, schools matter for that. But if you want to get a good job in sales or whatever, first of all, you don't even need college for sales. I just want to put that out there. A lot of the guys we hire don't have college degrees.
For sure.
But they just want to look to see that you did 4 years somewhere. Because at the end of the day, a diploma is just a piece of paper that proves that you finished something, that you were committed to something.
Absolutely. And it shows a level of maturity,
initiative.
work ethic.
Exactly.
Work ethic. So absolutely. So I mean, I am not one of these people to say college isn't necessary. But what I would say is this. Go ahead.
I want to play off that. College is absolutely not necessary to some people, and here's why I say that. In the town that I live in, there's a technical school, and all of my buddies went to the tech high school. My best friend went to welding school at his high school. His first year out of high school, he was making $25 an hour welding. Okay, if you learn a trade, the trade industry is what is taking off in this country, because everybody's looking to build things. Everybody's looking like become an electrician. You don't need to go to much school for that. You go to, like, my other buddy went to technical school for the electrician program, and now he just has to do an apprenticeship, and that's pretty much it. And you can make great money because those are things that are never going to go out of business.
Right. Well, here's what I would say. I have probably hired north of 300 people in my life. I spent a lot of time in the hospitality industry, 10 years. I did a lot of hiring, recruiting, some hourly positions, some high-level positions. And I was not typically, when I was going through resumes, just because they had a college degree didn't necessarily make them jump out, although having a college degree certainly helped as far as in the initial stage in the process. What I would say about college, obviously my daughter's in college. She actually had conversations with me about maybe after one semester, maybe not going back. And so we talked about why. You know, she looked at me and she goes, "Dad, you only did one semester and you're doing really well." And so I kind of talked to her about my journey. It wasn't absolutely just an easy cakewalk. You know, sometimes the college degree can at least give you an advantage that other people might not have. Not all the time, but it can. But what I think is important that young people do, you know, we ask people at 16, 17, 18 years old to pick a degree or pick a major of something that you want to do for the rest of your life. And very few 16, 17, 18-year-old kids know what they want to do for the rest of their life.
Right.
Very few.
Oh,
So it's a lot of pressure. And honestly, I never thought, even in my 20s, that I would be an entrepreneur. I always kind of thought I was going to be a youth pastor. That's what I wanted at that stage of my life. And I think life, you know, experiences and locations and different things that happen, relationships, marriages, family, it changes a lot of things. So you have to always be willing to be adaptable. But I think more than thinking about where am I going to go to college and what is my major going to be, I think you need to think about what do you want out of life. And I think where a lot of people go wrong is in this area right here. And one of the things I encourage every person to do, this is something I've been really encouraging people even more lately. I talked to 2 young people this week in interviews, and one of the things I encourage them to do is to come up with a mission statement for your life. You know, you talked about businesses have a mission statement. I've written a mission statement for my life, for Tony Nash. My mission statement is to be happy and to spend as many days as possible doing what I love. That's my mission statement. So now that I know what I want out of life is to be happy, which that has to be defined by me. What makes you happy might not make me happy.
Right.
What makes the Kardashians happy might not make me happy. I have to define what makes me happy. A lot of people don't even have that thought. They don't even know what makes them happy. And then to spend as many days as I can doing what I love. Now, if the people that say, I get to do what I love every single day, they're probably lying. There's obviously going to be days that just suck. There's going to be days that are just work, that you got to grind, you got to put your nose down and get things done. But I want to spend as many days as possible doing what I love. So then now that I know that, if I can kind of reverse engineer that, okay? So number one, what does happiness look like to me? What do I want to be happy? And what does doing what I love look like? Now, when I was in my 20s, when I was your guys' age, doing what I love was playing as much basketball as I could play, being around my boys, hanging out, doing things that I enjoyed, traveling. We used to go on road trips a lot. Those were the things that made me happy then. Well, what makes me happy today, I have 6 kids. What makes me happy today is spending time with my kids. So then I say, all right, what can I do in my career to allow me to be happy and to spend as many days as I can with my kids and with my family? So now that I know that's what I want, I don't kill myself to make as much money as I can possibly make, because ultimately that's not what I want. I don't kill myself to save up for this giant savings account or to buy this house or to get this boat, because for me, that's not what I want. Now, there's nothing wrong with somebody that wants those things, but I think that people never really define for themselves what's going to make them happy.
Right.
They watch television, they look at their favorite celebrities, they go on social media, and they think that's what's going to make them happy. They never really contemplate in their own mind what it is that's going to make them individually, them personally, happy. And so I heard a statistic more than 10 years ago. I read a statistic that said 94% of Americans hate their job. 94%. And I thought, man, that's terrible. And it's funny because just about everybody you talk to hates their job. Very few people that are happy. People that have college degrees, that are educated, they get out, they do this job, and they hate their job. And I'm like, I'm not going to live in a world where I hate my job. I mean, if I spend 40 to 50 hours of my week doing something that I hate, that's misery.
Oh, 100%.
So my father's the prime example of somebody who's super hard worker. He comes from a different generation where you just go to work.
Right.
But he's hated his job for 45 years.
Yeah.
But he goes every day and he does it. He shows up and he's loyal. He got promoted to foreman. I mean, he's done well there. But I worked there for just over a year, and I thought, I hate this. I could not do this forever.
Yeah.
I found whatever way I could to get out of that environment. So when I read this statistic, 94% of people hate their job, I thought to myself, I'm not going to be that. People get in this vicious cycle where they think this, and this is going to make me happy. And they work this job that they hate to pay for this thing that they think is going to make them happy. They get this thing, they realize that thing's not making me happy, but then they have to continue to work the job that they hate to pay for the things that they thought was going to make them happy. And they can't get out of it. They can't take a lesser job. They can't take a career making less money because they have to pay for all these things that they thought were going to make them happy. So for me, what I would tell people when you're thinking about college, when you're thinking about what am I going to do with my life, and I agree with both of you, there is an extreme value to the college experience. I've been trying to encourage all my kids, go to college for a semester, go to college for a year, try it out, see what you like. You might change your major and you might have different, but go try it out. But also be willing and understanding of what you really want out of life. Pray and ask God to give you guidance about what your life looks like and what you really want to get.
Yeah. And I would say that I learned more from college, from the relationships I made with people and, just the overall college experience than I did in the classroom.
Right.
Being able to interact with people from all over the country, people that were, raised
All over the
differently than
world,
you.
yeah.
All over, where we
Yeah.
went, all over the world. Being able to connect with them and see what their outlook is like compared to mine.
Right.
I mean, I'm just a little corn-fed boy from Vermont,
Yeah. Bernie Sanders country.
Bernie Sanders.
Feel the burn.
No.
Well, I just think if society could encourage more young people, or if you're listening and you're a young person, if I could encourage you to do anything, is to spend some time really thinking about what do I want out of life?
Right.
What is going to make me happy? The young lady I talked to yesterday, she's considering taking this job because it pays $22 an hour. But she's had a similar job to this that she absolutely hated, and she wasn't a good employee there because she hated the job. And
Society is too monetarily driven.
I mean, I agree with that. I think that people assume that because a job pays a lot of money, that's what they have to do. That's what they teach you. Get the best paying job with the best benefits. Right. And I'm not discouraging people from that. Now, listen, if what makes you happy is lots of money, then that tells you I need to go hustle. I need to work hard. I need to work as many hours as I can to get as much money as I want. And there's nothing wrong with that as long as you know that's what's going to make you happy. So I think the problem is you have to stop thinking about first, what's my job going to be?
Right.
Or what's my career path going to be? And you need to really spend some time thinking about what am I most happy? What
do I like to do?
When am I most happy? Okay. Maybe you're most happy when you're playing a video game. Okay. How can you make that a career? Today you can.
Yeah.
But you're going to have to work hard because it's a competitive field. What I'm saying is in today's world, you could make money being the world's foremost Scooby-Doo expert, right? And you could find a way to monetize it, have a YouTube channel all about this and make merch. And there's all kinds of things you could do. What I'm saying is if you really think about what you want out of life, when are you most happy? Then you start to think, all right, what can I do to get me more of that? And I think that's where people go wrong. So when you're recruiting people, what are some of the things you look for on a resume or an application? I know it depends on what job, but what are some of the things that stand out, or even in the interview process?
Okay, yeah. So looking at a resume, I like to see people who are at jobs for a good amount of time, not people that are hopping around.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm looking at a resume and it says, where I am, Belize Toyota, 2019 to 2020. Under that, Hadley Subaru, 2016 to 17. And it's just all these people, just short spans. It's not what I'm looking for.
100%.
I want to find someone that's willing to stay where they are. Someone that's willing to make their company their home, build a career. I also look at another thing that I look at is the volunteer work they do. You can find out a lot about a person from looking at what kind of things they do in their free time. Volunteering, whether it's a local soup kitchen, whether it's at their church, things like that. You can definitely learn a lot about kind of someone's work ethic even from that. If they don't have any volunteer work at all, it probably means that they spend their days off just out on a boat or something because they have the money to do that. But I mean, you can definitely tell a lot about someone by what they volunteer with. And in regards to sales, typically, you look for someone who's not already set in their ways. Someone you're able to mold.
Moldable, pliable. Sometimes too much experience can be a difficult challenge.
Well, no, obviously legally I can't not give someone a job because they're old. But and we have hired older guys.
They're just old. He's just too old.
Well, it's just like we've had a guy came in that was probably 60 the other day, and the guy has been working so long he has his own thought pattern. He's set in his ways.
Yeah.
What he does works, and that's all he needs to know. You can't mold people like that.
Nope.
We hire a lot of younger guys, 30s, 40s, and they're still learning. They're still learning the ins and outs. So
that's important.
Yeah.
Well, I would encourage. I want to hit on one thing you said. I would encourage anyone watching. I interviewed a girl one time, and she filled out. We had the job posting was on their Facebook page, the company's Facebook page, and we do some recruiting here for a couple of local companies. But on their Facebook page, they answered all the questions on the Facebook application, and then they only put 3 jobs that they had, and they looked like they were decent. Well, when they came, they showed up. They're 23 years old, and they literally had 10 jobs on their resume, their printed resume. And and she didn't start working until she was 17. So in 6 years, 10 jobs. And I'm like, I said, well, why did you put all these different jobs on here? She goes, well, I just thought it would be cool to show all the different experience that I have. And I said, actually, that shows an employer, this person's not going to, they're going to try me for 3 months and then they're going to move on. Right. And I tell people this all the time. And if you're listening,
probationary period.
Whatever job you have right now, if you're in your young 20s looking to find the job that you love, I would say you got to work some jobs that you hate to get to the job you love. That's just part of life. But I always tell young people, whatever job you have right now or whatever your next job is, commit. I'm going to stay there for a minimum of 1 year, even if it sucks, even if I hate it, because jumping around trying to find yourself is going to tell future employers this person is not going to stick it out. And that's why I think young people just jump around because everyone's trying to try everything out, and that can actually really hurt.
And in regards to even the whole monetary aspect I was talking, people are just looking to make fast money real quick. They're not willing to take the time to invest themselves into a company for long term. People just want to make money like that. And it doesn't work like that.
So that leads us to Zach here. I mean, Zach, he's dropped out when I coached Zach in high school. He was on our basketball team.
He got benched a lot, didn't he?
Yeah, there were days, but no, he was actually always a starter.
I was a captain on the basketball team. Let's be honest to Adam when he's right here.
Zach was one of my captains, and Zach was a captain not because he was one of the best players.
Although I was.
Not even because he was the hustled the most, or Zach was because.
Well, I know he didn't hustle the most. I can tell you that right now.
Zach had influence with every guy in the team. They listened to him. They liked to be around him. He was a good morale booster. He was a team guy. He would listen to the coach. So he had qualities that I was drawn to beyond basketball. And he was he played a very vital role in our state championship. Very vital role. And so when Zach went to college, I remember him talking to me about what he wanted to do. We were all kind of questioning the thespian choice, but Zach liked to perform. He would always do these skits at the
I like to be a goofball, and
he would always do these skits at school at the performing arts things, and they were really funny. He was a ham when he got on stage. He liked to make people laugh.
Both physically and
I didn't think that the major was a bad choice. I just thought, what are you going to do with that major? What are you going to do with that degree? You know, are you going to
I didn't know either.
Are you going to be an actor? You know, I don't know. So, you know, but he's got to figure it out. He went out, and then he decided he didn't want to go back, and then he got a job working in a pallet factory, and he was helping me with the live broadcast at our church.
Right.
I kind of had recruited him. He was in my Sunday school class. We always had a good relationship, and my company was still growing at this time, and I wasn't fully in a position where I needed to hire somebody. Actually, I really didn't need to hire anyone at all. But I wanted Zach. I wanted Zach. He didn't even have really any tangible quality or skills. I know Zach and Joey Levesque, who you know, they actually made the first ever promotional video for AZ in high school.
We'll show you that later, yeah.
In high school. And it's made it with their phones, and it was kind of funny, a little spoof, but it was, you know, so I thought, all right, he's creative. He knows, you know, by the way he scripted the video, you could tell he understood generally what a company like this should do. And I thought, I don't care what skills he has. I think he could really help our company. So I asked him, hey, do you want to get out of DT Fowler? He's like, I don't know. It's good money. I'm saving up. I'm going to maybe invest in real estate. And I said, all right, well, I just want to.
All pro construction.
Yeah, I said, I just want to offer you this position. I said, I don't 100% know what you would do. I know you like to make videos. I said, we don't even really offer promotional videos right now because I hate video editing. But I offered him the job, and he thought about it. He decided to take it. And the first 3 months was horrible because I didn't know what to give him to do. But I also knew that if I want my company to grow, I got to have more people. And I didn't know what Zach would do. And it didn't take long where I started to realize that Zach loved doing video.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of opportunity to make money doing video. And there's a lot of opportunity to help our clients grow by offering video. And so now, I mean, Zach spends probably 95% of his time doing something video related.
In Final Cut Pro.
Where that wasn't even a job. That wasn't even something we did. We didn't have the software. We didn't have one video camera before Zach started. But since Zach started, we now have 5 high-end video cameras, lights, podcast, iMac Pro, which is a highly expensive computer, editing software, all because Zach kind of came in and created a position for himself. And together we kind of figured out.
Hire people that you can build off of, and they can build off of you.
Right.
That's the biggest thing you can do.
Absolutely.
Someone that will grow your business from A to Z.
There you go.
Well, you know, before you took the name, that was actually our YouTube channel, I'm pretty sure.
AZ Vlogs.
AZ Vlogs.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Never launched officially, but
Well, I had
that's what was our plan.
But I-
But like I said, Zach's lazy about these kind of things, so I'm all into it, and he's like, I got too much going on. I'm in my kitchen eating pizza rolls.
I have commitment issues.
but when Zach does something he enjoys,
Oh, he loves
and
it.
this is everybody. When Zach does something he enjoys, he stands
thrives.
out. He thrives, and that's what I saw in him. Now, I think the reason my podcast is called No Easy Way Out is because I'm the same way. If I'm doing something I don't enjoy, I don't put as much effort into it. That's why I think in order to be successful, whatever success looks like to you, you have to be committed to doing the tough things. You can't take the easy way out, or else you will always hit a ceiling.
Yeah.
You'll always hit limits. So, Zach, talk about your time here, how it's been. Started from the bottom, now you're here.
Yeah.
Based on your experience, what would you tell our listeners to glean from that?
Do you know
So-
what glean means?
No, I'm just gonna get that out of the way.
He's gonna
throw that out.
I'm going to do this for you pro bono.
No, definitely, I would say like the first few months it was rough here.
You actually thought about going back to the factory.
Yeah, because the moment where I realized that I could, have a career here, I guess, is probably when Laura left. That kind of created. I love Laura. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, that's nothing against you, Laura.
Don't get me wrong. I love Laura. She was
He's
great.
coming for you, Laura. Watch out.
But
Hot mic.
But when Laura left, like, it created a lot of work for me, and so I took on more responsibility. And then as I kept working and training with video production and stuff with Jordan Sovis, a legend here in Owasso, Michigan.
Legend.
I just kind of, found things that I'm good at, found things that I can do. I found that I'm actually pretty savvy on the computer.
Very.
I didn't really realize that, but I am.
Catches on quickly.
Doing the emails and stuff now and whatnot. So I just kind of realized that, you really can learn anything from just doing it.
Applying
like
yourself.
The first time we got the free trial for Final Cut Pro, I remember I didn't really learn it. And so you weren't going to buy it. So we got another free trial, and then I learned at that time, and then he bought it. Mm-hmm. And I just remember, like...
That was intentional.
Yeah.
I'm not going to buy it until you learn it. I'm not going to buy it till you learn it.
We had a YouTube channel there for a while, me and my buddy did. And so I was pretty much, making videos every night. And I just kept learning new things, and watching YouTube videos, watching Jordan Sovis edit sometimes. You really can pick up, a lot of new tricks and things when you're watching a professional do, what you do.
Right.
Not that I'm not a professional. I am now.
He is now.
That's
Just
what Miranda
ask
calls me.
Yeah.
Miranda calls me a professional around here. Yeah.
But listen, there are people that went to high school with Zach.
Yeah.
Now listen, we don't have world-renowned pay packages here. It's getting better as our company grows. But there's people that went to high school with Zach that is like, man, you dropped out of college and you made it. Like they have this perception that
I'm a professional,
that he made
baby.
it. He's a pro, yeah. And it's because he's doing something he enjoys.
Yeah, and in regards to my job, people are like, when I bring people, after I've called them on the phone, when I bring them in for an interview, they're often shocked. They're like, you're the recruiting manager? I'm like, yep. And they're like, you're a kid.
You hung out with my son, yeah.
They're like, you're a kid. I'm like, yep. But I hold all the power here. I decide if we hire you or not.
He loves getting in that mic, doesn't he?
Yeah,
So yeah, I mean, I think that the key is you can learn anything. You can learn anything. I mean, you could literally go on.
If you're passionate about something, take the time to learn everything about it.
There's no easy way out.
No
it comes
easy
back
way
to
out.
that. Commit to doing it.
There's no easy way out.
Yes.
The second person to sing it.
Yeah.
Live
Well,
on the
actually,
podcast.
the third.
Who else?
Jordan Sovis
And?
Doug Levesque.
Doug Levesque sing it?
Doug Levesque.
Doug Levesque sing it.
And now, okay, so here, let's talk a little bit about you
Yeah.
two and your
Yeah.
relationship. I know you guys got some very
we have
some
stories.
stories to share that I haven't got to hear. Zach was trying to tell me a little bit about this ski story.
Oh, you want to
I
hear?
wanna hear
You want to
about
hear
this.
about my
I did-
skiing thing? All right,
Yeah.
so everybody that knows me knows that my favorite thing to do, in the winter or all year round, is ski. I've been skiing since I was 4 years old.
Never been.
And since you need to come out to Vermont.
Don't tell me what I need to do. Don't tell me what I need to do.
You should. I suggest it.
It sounds like a nightmare to me. I'll be honest with you.
Okay, well, I teach 4 to 6 year old kids how to ski.
Okay.
I've been doing it since I was 15. But yeah, it's honestly great. Like skiing. Okay, skiing is the one thing that I honestly spend the most money on.
Okay.
Because I want to be dressed to the nines.
Yeah.
I got the best the best loadout. Got a Smith helmet, which I recommend. I got Smith goggles. They're like $200 goggles. And then my skis. They're like they're Fisher skis, which is I believe Fisher's the best ski brand out there.
I'm not going to argue with you.
'Cause you
you're
don't
the
know much
foremost
about it.
authority here on that. Yeah.
On that. But yeah, so I love skiing. And I think Zach said you wanted to hear my craziest crash story.
Let's hear it, baby girl.
All right, so it actually happened this past winter. Me and my buddies had got off work, and we decided we were going to do, one run.
One last ski.
Yeah, we
for
were
the
going
boys.
to take a wrap up for the end of the day run. Now, remind you, we have been teaching 4 to 6 year old kids all day, and that
Thanks for
includes
reminding me.
picking them up, putting them on the chairlift. So it's tiring. It's definitely tiring. So I don't know if you guys are familiar at all with skiing, but like one of the
Not at
things
all.
you can do with skiing is there's tree trails. So trails in the
Yeah.
woods. So you got to be quick, weave in and out.
Yeah.
And we're
Snowplow turn.
Yeah, we're particularly good at it. The place we go has some little cliffs and some ledges, but it's the end of the day. The light is kind of flat. We're exhausted. But for some reason, I was like, yo, let's go do a tree run. So we're doing a tree run, weaving in and out. My buddy in front of me launches off this, this stump, double ejects from both his skis and, face plants on the ground. So I'm like, oh, my gosh. Everybody's like, you good, you good, you good. I'm not paying attention. So I hit a stump, and I go full forward, literally, by the grace of God. I did not hit this. There was a tree right in front of me. It was massive. It was like a giant oak tree. By the grace of God, I landed flat. Like, how in cartoons when someone's running and then they just stop?
Yeah.
Like all momentum stops. That's what happened to me. And I landed my head was this far away from a tree.
That's grace,
And
brother.
I looked out. My one buddy came up behind me. He thought I was dead. He thought I hit my head on the tree.
Oh,
He's
wow.
like, this guy's toast.
That boy's
toast.
dead.
But yeah, it was scary.
Wow.
My whole life flashed before my eyes, and then I got a crazy adrenaline rush and just whipped through the rest of the trees.
Sure.
But yeah,
Yeah, what you described there is exactly why I've never tried skiing.
Well,
Another friend of mine skied once,
Yeah.
and somehow, like, I don't know how you end up, but he like got clotheslined by some like cable or something.
Okay,
and, like,
probably
had
went
this-
on a
had
trail
this
that wasn't supposed to be
huge lash across his neck, like that could have
Holy
decapitated him.
smokes.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
like to me, like I've
if
never
you're
heard.
skiing on a main trail and someone professional teaches you, you'll do fine. Like I'm a professional ski instructor. So
Yeah, but like it's cold. You know,
that's a
it's
blast.
there's
It's-
snow. There's
once you listen,
danger of dying. It just doesn't seem like fun to me. You know, but
once
maybe if I ever
you've-
come to Vermont.
Once you've mastered the art of skiing, you like to push yourself to the limit. So I have a speedometer app.
Us skiers like to push ourselves.
I have a speedometer.
we in the ski world like to refer to this.
I
as,
have a speedometer app, and the fastest I've ever clocked myself
Let me
was
guess.
70 miles an
I
hour.
was just
Really?
gonna guess. I was gonna guess 68.
That's pretty dang close.
I was going to guess 69.
70 miles an hour. Do you realize how fast that is, even in a car?
I do.
Yeah.
I do
Imagine doing
realize
that on
that.
skis.
That means if you skied for 1 hour, you would go 70 miles.
Yeah. So yeah, I love skiing.
Well, I actually have a really funny ski story, but I'll tell you that off camera. And it's not from me going skiing, but a ski story that I heard from somebody, and it's quite hilarious. Actually, I did stand-up comedy one time as a bucket list item at a little coffee shop that had an open mic night. They
How'd
gave
that
us
go?
3 minutes to get up and do a comedy routine. Well, actually, I went to it the week before, and I saw some kid get up there and do stand-up comedy, and it was awful. I mean, it was so bad. He was nervous, sweating.
Sweating, yeah.
Like, I'm like, dude, this is the caliber. I could beat that, and I've always wanted to do it, so I mustered up the courage. And I stole this guy's story, and I told it, and I went for 18 minutes, and I had the crowd in the palm of my hands. Finally, I ended it, and they're like, you can't win a prize now. I'm like, why? Because it's a 3-minute limit. But, like, we weren't going to tell you to get off stage. But it's a good story. It's a banger. So I'll tell you that sometime. But I guess the real question everybody's wondering, our audience, Zach and I,
Yep.
the Lord up above, your mom and dad, they called me this morning. They're wondering about this.
Eric and Shelly.
Eric and Shelley.
We call them
Sherrick.
Sherrick.
Sherrick,
That's
yeah.
their nickname is Sherrick.
Sherrick and I had a long conversation about you, Adam, this morning. And that's where I learned that you were named after the first man in the Bible and the first angel in the Bible.
Yes, sir.
So I learned a lot about you. I learned
You
that
definitely didn't learn that from me saying it at the beginning of the
No,
podcast.
your parents told me that you are an avid ski instructor for young children.
Yeah.
They
Love
told me
kids.
that you went to 4 semesters of college.
Yeah.
So I know everything about you. And
They told me where that little birthmark on the back of your lower back is.
they showed me pictures. So
Baby pictures.
they're published on AZ right now, az.insta. Check them out.
Check them out. That's exclusive content
Exclusive
only.
content.
Like
So
it
anyways,
up.
the question
OnlyFans.
that they're wondering and the rest of the world is, what is it going to take to get Adam Malachuk to move to Michigan and join the AZ team? I mean, this is the dream, bro. You could be a part of something big here. This is way more of a rush. We got some great ski hills here.
No, you don't.
We got
I know you don't.
We
Michigan
do.
has terrible ski.
We have land hill.
You don't know that.
I do know that.
No, you don't.
I know people that have skied in Michigan.
So-
Tony, New England has some of the best ski terrain in the country.
I didn't say they were as good as New
Why
England.
would
but I said they're as good.
Okay, you can talk up Michigan all you want, but don't compare skiing because it's not even.
Whoa,
close.
we hit a tough
It's
subject.
not.
I know.
It's not even close.
Okay.
You guys have.
I'm going to
hills here.
rescind the statement about skiing. I said hills. I didn't say mountain. We have some great ski hills. We don't have mountains, and it doesn't compare to the Northeast. But the great thing about Michigan is you can drive anywhere from here to the Northeast. Easy there with the mic, bud.
Let me let me tell you.
So what's it going to take to get you here, buddy? We don't need a recruiter. We kind of do. You could recruit. You could do sales. You could be around Zach all the
I'm
time.
gonna need.
You just fire people all day if you want to.
You could do some podcasting.
In the armory.
You could become part of the No Easy Out
podcast.
podcast. I mean, dude, this is something.
It's tempting.
This
so
is
here,
this is a place for college dropouts.
Let me be honest with you. If
I
my
prefer
life,
that you don't lie to me.
if my life wasn't going so good right now, I'd be here on a dime.
He's waiting for some.
I'm sure it couldn't get better.
for some pain.
I'd
yeah.
be here on a dime, and you know what? Honestly, God's been so good the last couple of years. I love my job.
Mm-hmm.
I love a lot of things have been happening. Ministry-wise for me in my church.
Mm-hmm.
So things are starting to take off for me. But like, if I wasn't at that point, I would probably move out here on a dime.
Mm-hmm.
But
That's about all we could pay you. So
but like right now, I'm very happy. I'm not just content. I'm happy.
that's good. That's good, man. Listen, if you're happy, I don't want anything more for you.
Awesome.
That's all I want.
And
I just
love,
want you to
know,
be happy.
I'll make my visits out here.
The offer stands. The offer will expire today at 3 p.m. But after that, you just do you, boo. So
Yeah, you do you, boo. That's what I like to hear.
no, man. It's been a pleasure having you on the show, and I know we could talk for hours. There's so many more things we could talk about.
Anybody want to order pizza? I'm telling you, Joe.
And who was that?
Joe Rogan.
Oh, Joe
or
Rogan.
not Joe Rogan. That's
Alex Jones.
Alex
Okay.
Jones, yeah.
So do you want to send us off with a nice Bane?
Yeah, let me get the
Bane?
cup for this one.
Oh, the Bane impression.
He does impressions on demand.
On demand.
You merely adopted the darkness. I was born in it. I didn't see the light until I was a grown man.
Why are you using
By
a
then,
prop?
It was blinding.
Brilliant,
Yeah,
brilliant.
I can do a couple of.
Now, if you call him out on the quality of his Bane, he actually has right in his phone,
Yeah,
to
it's
pull it up
saved.
within seconds, that
I'll show you how
actual
good it
line from Bane to prove
I could do
the authenticity
Kermit
of it.
the Frog doing Bane.
Why don't you thank our audience for joining the Noisy Way Out podcast in the Kermit voice
I'd
doing
like
Bane?
to thank you all for listening, subscribing, and viewing the No Easy Way Out podcast. Why are there so many songs
That's
about
good. That's good.
rainbows?
Solid. Adam,
All
it's
right.
great. It's great to have you on. Hey, where can our audience find you? If they want to look up Adam Malachuk,
Okay,
just
so-
interact with you, hear some more of your impressions, hear some of
LinkedIn.
your songs.
Drop me your LinkedIn.
I'm gonna drop my LinkedIn because I'm a big fan of LinkedIn.
If they want to slide into your DMs.
He's been trying to get me on
Ladies-
LinkedIn for weeks, and I finally.
ladies,
All right.
Hold
finally
on,
did it.
ladies, listen to me. He is the quality of man that does not go after you if you've been with one of his bros. That's the quality you want. He's a loyal guy. So those
I'm talking
DMs.
to one girl. That's the only girl I'm talking to. How do you like your eggs in the morning?
All right,
All right, so you can find me on
If I'm
LinkedIn.
macking on one girl,
If I'm macking on one girl, I'm only macking on one. All right, so you can find me on LinkedIn at Adam Malachuk. You can find me on.
that's with a K.
Yeah, it's Malachuk. You can find me on Instagram. It's at Adam Malachuk or Chuck Pizza Reviews. That's CHUK Pizza Reviews.
that's a good channel, by the way. You guys should check
It is
it
a good
out.
channel. I also have
One bite.
I'm on Instagram also
Everyone
with
knows the rules.
Malachuk_shorts. I do some short form comedy.
Those are terrible.
I have a YouTube channel with my best friend Lake Lunkers.
Also terrible.
Would you shut up? And then you can find me on Twitter at Madam Alachuk.
What?
Yeah, Madam Alachuk.
I never
And,
realized
and,
that.
I, and I would also say this. If you Google his name,
You'll get all of these.
there's only one Adam Malachuk in the world. You'll get every single
what
one of
he
these.
claims.
I
Yeah.
am the one and only.
All right.
This is Adam Malachuk signing off. There's no easy way out.
All right, thank you for joining us. As my mother always says, you can't and never could until you tried. So go out there and try something great, my friends.
You
And
can't.
don't take the easy way out.
Never could until you try.
We'll see you next time.